Mare the Knight is easily the most difficult boss in the Eternal Die. This makes sense since it is the last boss, but the difficulty spike definitely jumps quite a bit compared to the other ones. Mare is fast, has quite a few different moves, and a lot of area of effect attacks that can be tricky to dodge. If you're just trying to beat Mare for the first time, or trying to go for that no-hit trophy, this video will break down the main things you need to know. Mare has 4 main attacks that are fairly well choreographed, and the fight has 3 main phases. The first and most common attack is Mare dashing across the stage at you with their sword extended. This has a very far reach and can be tricky if you can't see Mare, as they can come from off screen to hit you. If you're moving back and forth, this attack usually will not hit you. The harder part is the orbs that are left as a trail behind. They will bounce off of surfaces and then come to rest as an obstacle that you have to avoid. A nice thing is that it is possible to dash through these orbs and take no damage, so if you do get close to them, try to dash away. The next attack, and this one usually follows the dash, is a large AoE sword spin attack. While this can be dodged if you time things perfectly, I found it very inconsistent to avoid, so putting distance between you and Mare is usually the best choice, especially if you're going for that no-hit run. A really important point to note here is that after Mare does the dash attack, if you move close to Mare at all, like you're trying to get an extra hit in or two, he will almost always follow up this with the spin attack. At that point, you're too close to get away. So what I did is that you can bait him into doing this attack. After Mare does a dash attack, start moving towards him. When you see him change posture for the spin attack, immediately start dashing away. He'll miss you with the spin, and you can turn around and jump in and do some damage. The next attack is a 3-stage sword swing. Mare will charge up with energy, then do 2 fairly fast sword swipes, and a third that he will pause, sword in the air, and slam it down, shooting out partially homing spikes on the ground. These will bounce off of surfaces, and always seem to head towards your position, so be very careful around them. The first 2 sword swings are fairly easy to avoid. The third one is the most difficult, as he'll aim at you again as his sword is held in the air. You need to time the dodge right as he glows bright red, or again, just putting distance is the easiest option to avoid this attack and the spikes that come out after. Finally, his last main attack is one where he will stand still, charging up energy, and then launch 4 homing orbs at you. These orbs come out in front of him, and if you're standing very close to him, most of the time they will actually miss you and have to circle around back to get you. This is one of the best times to get in as much damage as possible. While he's charging, he doesn't hurt you, and it's pretty easy to tell when this attack is coming, so you can just stand there hitting him over and over until those orbs turn around and get close to you. He will usually follow this up with the spin attack though, so once he's done you will want to move away because you don't want to get hit by that. Now that we've gone over his main attacks, the next part is the different phases. As I mentioned, there are 3 main phases. As he transitions between the first 2, he becomes invulnerable, so you need to just run away. After you've taken off about a quarter of his health, he'll start phase 2. He'll get a red shield around him, so you know you can't hurt him when this is up, and he'll jump to the middle of the arena. Then he shoots out 2 rows of floating orbs and circles and starts firing lightning bolts where you stand. I've found this really nice, neat little trick that if you start at the very bottom middle of the screen, kind of at 6 o'clock, you can dash through the outer circle of orbs just as they're coming towards you, and then run clockwise around Mare, in between the orbs, and you won't take any damage. The lightning will not hit you as long as you keep running, and by the time you get back to about 6 o'clock, the outer ring of the orbs will have started moving into the middle, and you won't have to dodge out of their way again. You will have to run a little past 6 for the last lightning bolt to come back, but then you'll want to come back down and stay at 6 o'clock, and he'll shoot out the orbs, but they won't hit you there. If you start moving close to him, you can bait him into doing his dash attack at you again, and then you'll continue the fight like you were doing it before. After you do a little more damage to him, he'll summon 3 of the weird eyeball creatures that attack you with their weird tentacle. They always spawn at 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, so I try to run towards 3 o'clock where you have a bit more room. They die fairly quickly, but I do find them so difficult to avoid, so try and take them out with ranged attacks, all while still dodging Mare, who is back to his normal 4 attacks. Once he's down to about 60%, he'll become shielded again and start phase 3. This time he will do a wide burst area of effect attack that hits everything that is not close to him, so you want to dash in close when he shields up again. He'll follow that up with then the same AoE attack, but instead it's going to be close to him, so you want to dash on the outside. Then he's going to do a ground burst that sends a damaging ring expanding out that you need to dodge over. At this point, the fight is similar to phase 1, doing his normal 4 attacks until you get him to about 40% health. At this point, he's going to summon 4 bombs, at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. They will start slowly expanding a small ring that will damage you if you're too close to them, so you want to get to them quickly. And if you leave them alone, they will burst, shooting out large rings you need to dodge to avoid. These will overlap, making it very difficult, especially while you're trying to dodge Mare at the same time. I generally try and destroy 2 of these before they burst. It's really hard to watch Mare and focus on these, but I found that with 2 of them gone, the other 2 bursts are fairly easy to avoid. The biggest issue I run into with this section for no hits is when Mare does his big AoE swing attack. Since it's so hard to dodge and it does such a big area, watching for when he does the dash and knowing he's going to do the swing after is a really big thing to pay attention to. After the bombs, you can continue to fight Mare like normal until he's at about 25% health left. At this point, he's going to summon 2 clones of himself. These clones, if you get close to them, will do his same dash attack, leaving the trail of orbs. You can damage them, but after they finish the attack, they'll disappear and then he'll summon more, so I would ignore them for the most part and just try and finish Mare off. I failed the no-hit run a lot of times here just because it can be tricky avoiding the clones and watching Mare's attacks at the same time. When I finally did it, I had basically ignored them and just tried to stay away from them as much as possible. While it may feel impossible to do the no-hit run against Mare, it definitely is once you learn his patterns of attacks. I think most importantly, learning to avoid the dash, then baiting him into doing his spin attack and not getting hit is the biggest thing. The 3 sword combo is annoying, but if you keep distance you can avoid it easy enough, and the 4 homing orbs are a good time to get damage in. I'm also posting a video of how you can replay the boss fight over and over if you're not aware, since I don't think I would ever have beaten Mare with no hits if I had to run through all 4 stages every single time just to face him again and again and again. I'll have a link to that video on screen and in the description. I really hope this guide helps. Please let me know how far you make it through and if you can get that no-hit trophy too. I'm setting a goal for myself this year. I want to try and become one of Canada's top gaming content creators. You could really help me out by subscribing, leaving a like, and commenting on this video. I read every comment and I really appreciate all your support so far. Thanks so much, and as always, happy gaming.